Right. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Buenos dias. Bon dia. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Alejandra Torres, and I serve as the new Assistant Director of Advocacy and Organizing at the Ironbound Community Corporation. Again, on behalf of ICC, I want to thank all of you for being here. It's a really great turnout. Even though we don't have the greatest weather, we're here and we're loud and we're proud. Thank you. And we have other support. So we're gathered in front of PVSC today because our community has been fighting for far too long against pollution and environmental injustice. Newark's Ironbound neighborhood is already one of the most overburdened communities in the state. Yet, PVSC wants to build a fourth fossil fuel power plant right here. Thank you. And this is not just about one plant. It's about the health, dignity, and future of our families, our children, and generations to come. So today, you'll hear from an incredible lineup of speakers. We'll have our ICC CEO, Hazel Applewhite, our Mayor of Newark, Ross Baraka, as well as community partners and residents who are standing together to demand a better way forward for our emergency preparedness, one that prioritizes clean air and climate justice and centers community voices. So before we begin, although I know you all know why we're here, I want to just remind us. So when I ask, when the air we breathe is under attack, what do we do? Everyone knows. Incredible. All right, so we're going to do that. When the air we breathe is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the air we breathe is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Thank you. So let's keep that energy going as we hear from our incredible speakers. But first, we have Milagro Blanco, ICC's Environmental Justice Program Operations Administrator. She's part of our team. And environmental justice is led by Indigenous people, so it's only right that we begin by giving a land acknowledgement. So please join me in welcoming Milagro.
Long before Newark became the city we know today, this land was cared by the Lenape people, who saw no separation between the earth, the water, and the well-being of their community. They understood that what we do today shapes the lives of tomorrow. Now, as we stand on the same land and face choices like construction of another toxic power plant, we must ask, does this decision honor the community who lives here now? Does it honor the people who came before us? Does it protect the generations yet to come? True care and honor for the community means protecting our health, our home, and our future. May this acknowledgement inspire us to choose a path that truly honors this land, its community, and the generations yet to come. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Milagro. So we'll first hear from Pastor Mosier. He is from Faith in New Jersey. Pastor Mosier has been a steadfast faith leader in this movement, reminding us that environmental justice is in fact a moral issue. That protecting our environment is about protecting and safeguarding the health of all families. So thank you so much, Pastor, for being here.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm here. I'm Pastor Mosier. My church is just up the street here on Wilson Avenue. I'm a resident of this neighborhood. Raised two daughters here in this neighborhood, and have seen a lot of people suffering from many different illnesses related to the air that we breathe. Actually, as we are standing right now, we look up and we see the sky is dark because we have a hurricane around the corner. And they're getting worse and worse. Why? Because of climate change that is induced by human activity. And one of the ways it is induced is by fossil fuel burning and the power plants like this one. this community has come out for a long time asking for dignity and respect. And I'm here today as a faith leader, as a pastor, reminded by the words in the scripture as a Christian pastor, in the scripture that says, whatever you do to the least of me, you do it to me. That's what Jesus said. So basically, if we disrespect the environment, if we disrespect our neighbors, if we express hate to our neighbors, as this plant will be, because the community has come out and has spoke against it, and they're like, we don't know what to do, we're just going to continue doing what we want to do. That's not right. So I'm here today to say that as a pastor here, as a member of Faith in New Jersey, we are against this project, not because we're just against it, but because it's not the right thing to do. As we are going through the hurricane right now, we realize that we all need to care for the environment, but more than anything else, we need to love our neighbor. We need to make sure that we need to have safer options. And there are clean options these days. There's no more reason, there's no more excuse not to do it. So as a pastor, I pray that God may give us the strength, that God may bless all the leaders that are standing up at this moment, that God may bless our mayor, that God may bless our Ironbound Community Corporation and all the organizations and these brave leaders who are standing up here today and are not stopping to talk. And also may God open the hearts and the ears of those responsible for this project, that they may stop immediately and seek other ways to solve the issue that they have ahead. So may God bless you all, continue strong, and it's our duty as faith people to stand up and speak the truth and ask for dignity and justice for our community. Amen.
So before we pass it over to, can you hear me? Yeah. Before we pass it over to our CEO, Hazel Applewhite, we want to do a brief chant again. So Milagro, would you like to lead it?
What do we want? Clean air. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean air.
When do we want it?
Now.
Thank you. So we'll hear from Hazel Applewhite, CEO of Ironbound Community Corporation. Hazel leads ICC's work across early childhood education, housing stability, youth and family support, and of course, our fight for environmental justice. She has been a powerful voice in ensuring our community has a seat at the table in decisions that impact all of our lives. So welcome, Hazel.
Thank you. Is this on? Yes. Thank you. Hello. Great. Good morning. Good morning. What do we want?
Clean air.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean air.
When do we want it?
Now.
Thank you. You know, I listened to the pastor, and the words that, just stuck to me the words that stuck to me this morning is this is inhumane, right? We have spoken out for so many years with this, and not only saying we just don't want it. We've brought experts to the table that has brought documents, right, and their data showing that this power plant is not needed. There are other alternatives to it, but yet we've been ignored. So that is what? Inhumane, and it's also environmental racism. I believe in calling things out for what it is, and that is what it is. I would first like to say good morning to every and all folks that are here, to all our partners, to our mayor of the great city of Newark, Ross Baraka. I just want to thank you for continuing to support us on this journey. To our partners, NJEJA, Food and Water Watch, our faith-based folks that just don't leave our side. We totally appreciate you guys, and if there's anyone that I miss, I do apologize, but all partners, we thank you. And I also want to thank the staff of ICC, because at the end of the day, as leaders, we have to understand, without our staff, this work cannot be done. And they've been so diligent in fighting this fight for many, many years. So I just want to shout them out also. Like stated, I'm Hazel Applewhite, CEO for Ironbound Community Corporation. I stand here representing the Ironbound, a vibrant, resilient part of Newark made up of mostly Black and brown folks and immigrants. Let's not forget that, right? Black and brown folks and immigrants. Today, our community faces yet another attempt to sacrifice our health. The Passaic Valley Sewerage Commission, which is PVSC, pushed to build this fourth power plant right here in our neighborhood. PVSC claims that it's about emergency power, but in reality, it's about even more pollution to our ear all year around, not just doing storm outage. So please, when you hear folks saying that this is about emergency, remember that PSE&G upgraded their grill, right? Did they not upgrade their grid? So this is not about emergency, right? It's about pollution. There are proven clean alternatives like battery storage and solar power, but PVSC has refused to seriously consider them. If you remember when I started saying we brought experts to the table, right? Yeah. Let's be clear, it is environmental racism. Time and time again, polluting industries are placed in Newark, Black and brown neighborhoods, while the wealthier white suburbs are spared these burdens. The Ironbound already is the home of more pollution facilities than almost anywhere else in Jersey City. In New Jersey, this is facts, right? Look it up, it's facts. Enough is enough. This is why the environmental justice law was passed in 2020. And a lot of you guys supported that because communities like ours have been overburdened and ignored for too long. The EJ law requires the state to consider the cumulative impacts of pollution before approving new facilities in neighborhoods like ours. It says that agencies must listen to communities and deny permits to new facilities that would cause harm unless there is truly a compelling public interest. The public has spoken out with our experts to say this fourth power plant is not needed. In this case, DEP and PVSC ignored both the spirit and the letter of the law. They failed to follow the requirements and they failed to listen to us. This is why ICC, together with Earth Justice and our partners and the city of Newark, has taken legal action. We are suing to enforce the environmental justice law and stop the plant from being built until the law is truly honored. We're not asking for any special treatment. We are demanding equal protection, basic justice, and the right to decide in what happens in our community. I'm going to close with the Ironbound is united and determined. Aren't we united? We've been at this for years. We're united. We refuse to be a dumping ground for polluting industries. We call on the governor and also our new governor that's going to be coming in. Don't forget that, right? Because this is a fight that if Murphy don't want to help us on it, we got a new candidate that's going to be coming in and we're going to demand the same from them. End environmental racism. Uphold the environmental justice law. Stand with us for a healthier, safer, and just future for Newark Black and brown children and families. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hazel. That was so powerful and moving. Now it's my honor to introduce Mayor Roz Baraka. Woo! Mayor Baraka has been a champion for Newark residents and has stood alongside the Ironbound in the fight against this power plant. The city of Newark itself has taken legal action against PVSC, and the mayor is here to share his commitment to protecting the health and future of this great city. So welcome, Mayor Baraka.
So I thank everybody for coming out here, bringing the sun, bringing the light. We appreciate you and all of the partners here. And I have to especially shout out ICC for their continued and long and historic commitment to the Ironbound and to fighting the good fight, the issues. You know, Paul Robeson said the power of our demands is that what we fight for is right. So we shouldn't be ashamed of being out here. We shouldn't be afraid of being out here. We shouldn't feel like we're doing something that we should not be doing. What we're doing today is actually the right thing to do. We are on the right side of history. This power plant, this fossil fuel plant is wrong. Having 4 is absolutely wrong. In and of itself, it's problematic. But to add upon the cumulative impact of environmental injustice in this city and in this state is very, very, very wrong, particularly burdened by Black and brown and working class communities who are suffering this. This is not about energy. This is not about them being able to function properly. This is about money. This is what this is about. This is about money. This is about huge corporations and individuals funneling money into their savings and private accounts. This is what it's about feeding and fueling people's lifestyles at the expense of working class people, particularly an orderly amount of Black and brown working class people in these communities, that we're fueling these people's lifestyles at our expense. That's what's happening. You already heard that PSE&G already upgraded the facility. They already upgraded, so they're telling us that they're only going to turn it on when there's an emergency. Well, that sounds ridiculous to me, because what they've done is created a money grab for individuals, because in order for them to make money, they got to turn it on. Right? And so in order for them to make money, they're going to do that. So it will be turned on. They will facilitate emergencies if they have to make money. Building it makes them more money. And we need some courage. We need some courage from the board members. We need some courage from the governor's office. We need some courage from DEP. We need some courage from the people in this state to say no, that we would rather protect the residents of the city of Newark, the citizens of the state of New Jersey, than fill the pockets of people who don't need their pockets filled anymore. So we're happy that ICC and others filed a complaint. We followed up on July 15th and filed a separate complaint in concert with ICC to defend the residents of this city against what we believe is going to cause deleterious harm to people's physical health in our community. This is documented, is right. We know that there's a medical impact, that there is a physical impact on the lives of families, generations of families that have been impacted already by these incinerators, and all these plants that are down here in this community have already been affected. The particulate matter in the air affecting people's ability to breathe and function. All of this stuff is very real, and it worsens. This situation makes it worse. So we're taking folks to court because we're not going to stop until they stop. We're not going to go away until they go away. We're not going to be quiet until they shut the plant down. Until they shut the plant down, we're not going to be quiet. And I know you say, oh, why do you want to fight this fight? Because we don't have any other choice. We don't have any other choice. We must fight this fight. This is a life or death fight. This is not about sitting in the boardroom and agreeing with people or saying yes or no. This is about people's physical ailments, their ability to live, have a quality of life that is decent, right? And not be driven away or driven down by what's going on in the air and in the environment. And so we're going to be here. You have the commitment from the city of Newark. You have the commitment from the folks in City Hall that we will stand with you, that we're going to fight with you all the way to the end of this fight, and whatever resource that we need to do to make sure that this does not happen, we'll be right there with you in the court, in the streets, in the boardrooms, and at the protest rallies. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. We love to hear that you'll be with us in the courts, in the streets, and in the rallies. Thank you so much. Next is Jonathan Smith, Senior Attorney with Earth Justice. Earth Justice has been ICC's longtime legal partner, representing us in this fight against polluting projects like this one. Jonathan and his team, Colin and Constantia, who are here also with us today, are helping to ensure our voices are heard in the courts and that our legal rights are protected. So, Jonathan, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra. Today, we're speaking to you in front of PVSC, the 5th biggest wastewater treatment plant in the country. Just 2 miles that way is the biggest waste incinerator in the state. Right next to it, right next to that biggest waste incinerator in the state, is one of 3 gas plants that have already been built here in the Ironbound neighborhood. The other 2 gas plants are just down the street from PVSC. The gas plant right over there is the 7th biggest gas plant in the state. Across the railroad tracks right next to PVSC, it's the 2nd biggest marine port in the entire country. Here in the Ironbound, we're surrounded by nearly 30 scrap metal yards. These are just some of the examples of how we're standing right now in the highest concentration of polluting facilities in New Jersey. So 5 years ago, the New Jersey legislature passed a first-in-the-nation EJ law. 5 years ago, just 2 miles from here in Newark, Governor Murphy signed that law. And what does the EJ law say? It says that this piling up of polluter after polluter after polluter in the same community, this must be stopped. It says that you cannot build new polluting facilities in the same communities that already have too much pollution. The EJ law is the promise that we can break the cycle of our vibrant communities being dumping grounds for everybody's pollution. But DEP and PVSC, they broke that promise. They're planning to build what will be the 4th gas plant in the 4 square miles of the Ironbound. And to do that, they're turning their backs on their responsibilities under the EJ law, and they're turning their backs on their responsibilities of good governance. So together with ICC, we sued DEP and we sued PVSC. Because the construction of this new gas plant in places like the Ironbound is not just wrong, it's not allowed under New Jersey law. And yesterday, we asked the courts to stop the construction of the gas plant. Because PVSC should not start building a gas plant before the court has the chance to decide whether that's even legal. 5 years ago, with the passage of the EJ law, the New Jersey government said that communities like the Ironbound deserve better. PVSC and DEP may have forgotten that, but the court will make them remember. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Thank you for grounding us in the area that we're in. We see the trucks passing by. We're not making the pollution up. So next we have Dr. Savory from Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School. We're so grateful to have you. We know that you have a busy day, but we're grateful. He brings a crucial medical perspective, reminding us that pollution is not some abstract issue. It directly harms children's health, increasing asthma, respiratory illnesses, and long-term risks. So thank you so much, Dr. Savory.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Khalil Savari. I'm a pediatric pulmonologist. I've been working in Newark almost 10 years. I'm here on the behalf of my patients and on my family. We're here because the process that existed to protect citizens has failed us. The public commissioners' meetings, which were meant to identify potential conflicts, were a sham, an illusion to pacify the victims. Are you pacified? No. The landmark environmental justice law, which we already heard about 5 years ago, was signed to help past polluters be accountable for their attacks on overburdened communities, to prevent future targeting. But we are still being targeted. We've heard from many personal stories the impacts of air pollution and extreme heat and severe weather. Some of the loudest voices we hear for this power plant are in denial of this experience. They are not like us. They don't know what it's like to walk to school smelling this. They don't know what it's like to have their power go out and have no options. They don't know what it's like to lose a child due to environmental racism. I'm the only full-time pediatric pulmonologist in Newark. I take care of our children affected by these extremes. As a physician who advocates for health and preventive care, preserving lung health by avoiding chronic insults such as that will come from this fourth power plant is my duty. Let's just table what we already heard about the 3 other power plants: the trash incinerator, the port, the airport, the truck traffic, and the corridors of transportation. My patients have time and again presented with what amounts to be preventable disease in deadly circumstance. We've heard of someone who has died or been disabled from asthma. We don't talk about the toll that it takes to children who can't pursue their dreams. The future basketball player who struggles running a lap. The future runway model who struggles with obesity because they can't walk up a flight of stairs in their building. The future doctor who breathes their last breath at age 5. The harm the PVSC's power plants poses is not geographically limiting. It is going to expand past Newark. It's going to expand to Passaic and to Rahway, Westfield, and to Central Park in New York City, disregarding insurance status, education, and wealth. Your intention is to use this only during emergencies, but the construction, testing, and maintenance will occur not just sometimes, but all the times. It is vital we build methods to handle power failures as well as address the frequency of floods and heat waves. Several sustainable microgrids have been deployed in states where flooding and hurricanes damage far more than just our New Jersey numbers. In these instances, local governments and businesses have paired to improve the community, recognizing the need for energy does not need to oppose the need for health. The current decisions to proceed with the PVSC plant is short-sighted and a squander of funds, which should be done better. There isn't anyone who is saying the PVSC should not have backup power. No one is saying our neighbors in the Passaic County should ever have suffered backed up sewage like we did during Sandy. What we're saying is that you should not endanger one group, a group is currently already overburdened, to further your own benefits. Are we not all American citizens who deserve to pursue happiness and health? This summer, we've seen astronomical rise in the cost of electricity, related to struggling grid and rising costs to import electricity from other states. The governor and the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities spent $430 million to direct customer assistance to defray the cost of electricity. Compare that to the $230 million contract for the PVSC power plant. New Jersey, this will cost you more for longer than just now. By investing in the communities, you will make electricity cheaper, air cleaner, and treat your neighbors as they wish to be treated. Better to invest in alternative energy pathways, which can be used year-round to support our communities where these resources will be located, right here. This is not news to the PVSC. You've heard this in the 4 prior commissioner meetings, which you have collectively ignored. Now we are calling on all of your customers, your neighbors, public servants like our mayor and the governor, and the future governor-elect to know your failures and your shame, so that they can step in where you have failed, like grown-ups cleaning up after toddlers. This isn't right. You must do better. Thank you.
We really appreciate it. And thank you for affirming your duty here. So our next speaker is Matthew Smith from Food and Water Watch. He is a director of Food and Water Watch New Jersey. This partner has been critical in organizing against new fossil fuel projects across the state, pushing for bold action on climate and clean energy. So thank you so much for being here.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
No more pollution.
No more pollution.
No dirty gas plants.
No dirty gas plants.
No more pollution.
No more pollution.
No dirty gas plants.
No dirty gas plants.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. My name is Matt Smith. I'm the New Jersey director with Food and Water Watch, and we are here today to stand with the Ironbound community and with our partners to say no to PVSC's dirty, dangerous, and unnecessary frack gas power plant here in the Ironbound. I want to start with a moment of silence for the people, the residents of New Jersey who have lost their lives due to extreme weather caused by climate change, and the countless thousands of untold Newark residents who have died and have been killed by the pollution that will be repeated, perpetuated, and exacerbated by the dirty power plant that PVSC is proposing to build. Thank you, and let's not confuse our moment of silence to honor the lives with the very loud and outspoken opposition that this project has seen from day one. Dozens of cities up and down the state of New Jersey have passed resolutions opposing this project. 20 state legislators signed a letter to the governor urging him to reject this proposal. Over 135 medical professionals licensed and operating in the state of New Jersey wrote to Governor Murphy calling on him to reject this project. We have heard from experts who have said that there are renewable, clean energy alternatives to meet whatever backup power demands PVSC has. We are simply at a point where we can no longer perpetuate the environmental racism that is represented and embodied by this project. So we, Food and Water Watch, and our members and supporters are proud to stand with Ironbound Community Corporation, the Southward Environmental Alliance, Earth Justice, the New Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance, and everyone, all of the individuals who have been fighting this project for years. And we are here to say that this fight is not over. We are ready to support the community in whatever comes next, because everyone deserves clean air. Everyone has a right to breathe and live a healthy and long life. So thank you for being here, and let's keep up the fight.
Thank you so much for bringing that energy. We really appreciate it. So our next speaker is Kim Gaddy, founder and director of Southward Environmental Alliance. Kim has been a leader who has been fighting tirelessly for clean air and environmental justice in Newark South Ward. SWEDA's work shows how interconnected all of our communities are in this fight. So we welcome Kim, and we're so glad to have you here with us today.
Thank you, thank you. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
Thank you, and welcome everyone. And I must first acknowledge our great mayor, the Honorable Raj J. Baraka, for being the environmental champion and doing what's right, always for the people of the city of Newark and the state of New Jersey. I am Kim Gaddy, the founder and executive director of the Southward Environmental Alliance, and I'm here today not just because we work in solidarity with the Ironbound Community Corporation, but my mother and my grandmother always told me, when you know better, you do better, right? And you stand up to bullies and individuals who always like to put more burden on those who are already overcompromised, already live in communities that's overburdened. But what they don't know is we have some fighters in the great city of Newark, New Jersey. We come from a community of individuals who won't quit. It It took us 12 years to get the environmental justice law passed, and we did not stop. Ironbound Community Corporation and all of our partners here, we will not stop until justice is served. As a parent also of 3 asthmatic children, I know all too well the impacts that the environmental injustices have on our communities. And it is not just because I decided to live in the mighty South Ward, which is the community right adjacent to the Ironbound and the East Ward. They strategically place more polluting facilities in our communities where black and brown individuals live because of our income and our zip code. And it's not right. It's something that we have to call out every time. PVSC is following some racist practices. It is environmental racism. We don't need to call it anything but what it is. And so we have to stick together and continue to have the courage. Power to the people. We have to continue to have the courage to stand up to individuals who want to deny us our self-determination to live in communities that are thriving and that are vibrant. That's what Newark should be and will be. So we will always stand with Ironbound Community Corporation in solidarity and support. We thank all the other partners who are here. Continue to fight because our people need it. Power to the people.
Thank you so much, Kip. Power to the people indeed, and thank you for your solidarity and support. So next, we're really grateful to have Nancy Zach, who's a longtime community organizer with ICC and co-founder of Spark Friends of Riverbank Park. Nancy has been a pillar of the Ironbound environmental justice movement for decades, from saving Riverbank Park to standing against polluting industries. So everyone, please give a big shout out to Nancy. Thank you.
Well, you see why we have pollution when you see all this truck traffic around here. I don't know if we'll get through this. I brought my t-shirt from 40 years ago. Learn, don't burn. Learn, don't burn. Yeah, because what you put in comes out. And that's why the air gets polluted from all the stuff that's coming out of the burning. In 1981, my husband, Arnold Cohen, who's over there, Arnold Wave, was the coordinator for a group called Ironbound Committee Against Toxic Waste. Some of you were involved then too. And I also see one of my Spark Committee here, Mark Roberts. In 1981, the Ironbound Committee Against Toxic Waste began fighting because we noticed how many children had asthma. And we had a newspaper called Ironbound Voices, and this is the cover from one of the very first issues. Pollution and children don't mix was the poster we were carrying around, and we still say that. And this I also brought to show. This shows 800 people marching on Ferry Street. And when I show this to the high school, to the East Side High School kids, they say, our community did that? And they are amazed and they are empowered. And that's what we need. Young, empowered people to keep going. This is not something that ends overnight. And so I'm very glad to hear people up here talking about it's not over. And I just will encourage you, if you want to know more about ICC, there's an exhibit There's an exhibit at the main library until December 30th. It's on the 3rd floor of the library. When we won the fight to save Riverbank Park, which took us 5 years, when we won that fight, we also got the new park, Riverfront Park. And I will invite you all. A neighbor has written a play about the fight to clean the river. And it's coming up at Riverfront Park on August 24th, Sunday at 4 o'clock. Thank you all.
Giving us that historical background. And in case you didn't catch that, there's a play by Cynthia Malone on the fight to save the park on Sunday, the 24th at 4 p.m. at the park. All right. So next we'll hear from Paula Bogovin from Don't Gas the Meadowlands Coalition and Food and Water Watch's North Jersey volunteer team. Paula has worked to stop fossil fuel expansion across the state and bring solidarity from communities beyond Newark who are fighting similar battles. I can't see Paula. Oh, there we go. Great. Welcome, Paula. Thank you.
Hi, these 2 signs were made at the Down Bottom Farm by very young children when we had an art build just a couple years ago. Some of you were part of that art build. These signs are still relevant and children are still suffering. Thanks. I've lived in Teaneck, New Jersey for 42 years. It's a tree-filled town with many parks and playgrounds. Is there anyone here who thinks that the Passaic Valley Sewerage Commission or any other commission would vote to build a frack gas power plant in my town of Teaneck? No way, no way. I don't see anybody saying they would. It's a fact of history that fossil fuel infrastructure is focused in environmental justice communities such as the Ironbound, not in towns like Teaneck. The PVSC board voted last month to perpetuate that history of racism. I'm proud to be part of this coalition of advocates for environmental justice. We've worked for 4 years to try to reverse that history and stop the PVSC frack gas power plant. We've marched. Many of us here have marched, rallied, met with elected officials. Hundreds of us spoke out at monthly PVSC board meetings. We talked about the dangers of a 4th gas plant, dangers to public health, pollution that would cause more heart and lung conditions such as asthma. It would cause cancers, miscarriages, stillbirths, and learning problems. I taught for 44 years in New York City, and the impact on children just horrifies me. It just horrifies me to think about it. We also talked at those meetings about the dangers to climate. It was a terrible injustice that the PVSC majority voted last month to approve this frack gas power plant in the Ironbound, an environmental justice community. Their vote was despite the testimony from hundreds of people each month. It was despite the sign-on letter that was referred to before, signed on by 136 healthcare providers and scientists that documented the health impacts from existing pollution sources. The 3 power plants, incinerators, trucks, and we see those trucks now, we see them. And we can hardly breathe on this corner, but these trucks go day after day after day. There's the trucks from Port Newark, planes from Newark Airport. We explained that the healthcare workers and scientists in their letter explained that it's not just the pollution from this 4th gas power plant, but rather the combined impacts of pollution from that gas plant with existing pollution. PVSC's vote was shameful, and it only serves to perpetuate environmental injustice and racism. It is our hope that along with our protest marches and rallies and speaking out, that these lawsuits will be effective in finally stopping this gas plant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula. We really appreciate it. And for giving us an example of the disparate impacts that we see here in the state of New Jersey, where certain communities are subjects of environmental racism and other towns are not. So our last speaker is Brooke Helmick, Director of Policy from the New Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance, which is one of the leading statewide organizational voices advancing environmental justice, policy, and grassroots organizing. The Alliance has been instrumental in helping to pass New Jersey's landmark environmental justice law, which you heard about earlier, and continues to fight for its implementation. So welcome, Brooke. Thank you so much.
If I can unlock this. All right. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. I know we're cold. I know it smells bad. I know it's loud. I know it's starting to rain, but we're here because we have something to say. We have something that needs to be heard. My name is Brooke Helmick, and I serve as the Director of Policy with the New Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance. We are over 20 years old and the only statewide EJ org in New Jersey. With our office in Newark, there has been a history of collaboration and solidarity between the Ironbound Community Corporation and NJEJA. As partners in the fight for environmental justice and equity, their struggle to realize a right to clean air becomes something in which we are proud to join, to lock arms, and to support in. So I'm honored to be here today to echo the sentiments of my colleagues and partners and the residents of Newark, as well as the many New Jersey residents, as mentioned, who joined PVSC's monthly calls from outside the city of Newark to voice their opposition to this project. Y'all, there were calls for PVSC that went on for hours and hours with hundreds of people saying no. New Jersey's landmark environmental justice law, as mentioned, was passed in 2020. It was a historic moment and a first of its kind law designed to protect communities from the disproportionate and undue burdens of toxic air pollution, which affects the health of the individuals and the environment. The law, not only protective in method of analysis, the cumulative impacts analysis that we heard earlier, also provides an opportunity for community input and expertise. The community has spoken. They have been clear and they have been vocal in their opposition. Community members, public officials, community-based organizations, advocacy organizations, medical professionals, public servants, you name it, folks have been clear. We cannot have this fourth power plant. As equal stakeholders in the process, communities have vocalized time and again that Newark does not need, nor do they want, another fossil fuel burning power plant. The state must honor a community's right to refuse and their role in determining what infrastructure should or should not be developed in their community, in their backyard, in their home. Governor Murphy and PVSC, we call on you to not sacrifice the health and well-being of the Ironbound community for the sake of a fourth power plant. The residents don't just deserve better, they have a right, a fundamental human right to breathe clean air, pollution-free air. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brooke, for reminding us of a right to clean air. So we're gonna have Hazel Applewhite once more, CEO of ICC, to close us out. Hazel, thank you.
Well, listen, the fight is not over, right? It may be the end of this press conference, but the fight is not over, because what do we want?
Clean air.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Clean air.
When do we want it?
Now.
I just want to close out by saying thank you for all our partners for coming out with us and continuing to fight this fight with us. We appreciate you, and we're in this together in solidarity. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Hazel. We can never have too many chants. I have another chant that I'd love to add. But again, just want to thank everyone, and also just like look at the breadth of speakers we had. We have policy experts, movement lawyers, teachers, organizers, activists who all deeply care about this, because this is an issue that affects everyone. You don't need to be an expert in environmental justice to call out the harm and pollution that falls in our communities. So I just want to leave the same way we came. And so we say to PVSC, think about your legacy, and you say fossil fuel or fossil free. Ready? PVSC, think about your legacy. Fossil fuel or fossil free. PVSC, think about your legacy. Fossil fuel or fossil free. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Obrigada.